Welcome to the Flip Thinking Podcast. In this podcast, you'll listen to intimate conversations between Berthold Gunster and his guests. Together, they'll explore the guest's personal problem and try to make it feel lighter or make it disappear altogether. This can be achieved in different ways. Sometimes they can simply solve the problem, but more often than not, they'll find that they have to let go of expectations or views they hold about themselves. At other times, they can only observe the fact that there is a problem without judging it. And in some cases, they can flip think the problem.
Can you tell me something about who you are?
My name is Lando.
Lando.
Not a very common name.
No, is it Dutch or?
It is Dutch originally. It's derived from the word Lambert, from the name of my grandfather, Lambert.
My third name is Lambertus.
Oh man, this is getting.
We are both coming from the city of Apeldoorn.
Yeah, we just talked about that.
Yeah, and you live 6 houses away from my mother-in-law. So.
And your second name is something that was used to build my name. Yeah. It was my dad, my parents. They found it in a book somewhere. I didn't want to call me Lambert. Yeah.
And one of the things you do is improv in theater.
Yeah,
and my background is theater.
Hey, here we go.
It's as if I'm talking to myself.
Yeah, this is, I think...
So tell me, what problem do I have?
It's a conspiracy, I think.
I think
they're
so
going to have a field day with the conspiracies around this. Yeah. No.
So tell me something about you. Who are you? What do you do?
I'm 50 years old. I will be 51 this year, God willing. Mm-hmm. I have a great wife, Sabine, lovely son, Guus. So I'm a dad.
How old is
I'm a
Guus?
parent.
How old is
He's 9 years old. I'm trying. I promised him that I would definitely. I'm trying not to copy any of my.
That's an ambition. A lot of parents have.
Yeah, I know. It's
probably you'll fail.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I will fail, and I told him so already. So look, I am going to mess you up.
Yeah.
To some extent, I'm going to try my best not to do it as often as I can. But so that's the situation right now. He's 9 years old. I live in the lovely city of Apeldoorn, like we just said. And I'm a trainer coach for a big company.
Right. So this is who you are. What's your topic? What's your question? Your problem?
I am come to the conclusion that I'm struggling with empathy. Empathy in general. I don't consider myself to be an empathic person.
And this is something you want to be.
Yeah.
You want to be more empathetic.
I feel that I mean, for God's sake, I'm a coach. Right.
Yeah.
So
I'm things in the field of leadership, right?
Leadership development, and this is where you.
And then you have to be empathetic.
So I love the groups. I love the big group dynamics and group coaching and things like that. There's always a few spin-offs. You know, we do a training with leaders, a few spin-offs where I can talk to you individually, and it's actually a great compliment when they seek you out for some personal coaching.
Yeah,
and I can do it. It's totally fine in the business environment. But if I'm being totally frank, if they would expect me to check in with them every 2 months to see how they're doing, I probably would fail at it miserably because I feel that I don't
have the empathy
care anymore.
Okay. Now, this is your self-diagnosis, so to say. So before I accept this, I feel a little bit resistance because I want to be sure, right? I want to be sure if your diagnosis is correct. So could you convince me with examples, right? So that I might conclude, well, this is really not empathetic.
And this is, look, and I also...
So the worse the examples, the better, please.
Yeah, okay, the worst examples,
the ones you feel much ashamed about.
I actually feel that I didn't mourn my brother's loss enough in 2018.
Ooh.
I get emotional, of course, when I talk about these things. But I and it's all connected.
Let's slow down a little bit because you lost your brother, right?
Yeah.
This is 5 years ago. We're now in 2023.
Yeah, April 4th, 2018.
April 4th. Yeah. April 4th. How did this
He got sick. He got sarcophagus cancer. They found it too late, and he died within 18 months.
18 months.
Yeah.
Younger brother, older brother?
Older brother. Younger brother. He was the youngest of us all. So I had three brothers and a sister.
3 brothers
and he was
and
the
one
youngest.
sister.
Yeah.
He was the oldest.
No, the youngest. Sorry.
I
don't know why I said oldest.
Okay.
I think it's because I think in life it's supposed to be the oldest, almost like.
Yeah, it's similar. Like children shouldn't die before their parents.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah, it's very unnatural.
So how were you connected with him during these 18 months of illness, sickness?
Yeah, great connection. I mean, he was already a friend, much more of a friend than he was a brother. So our connection was very strong.
So how can you then say that you don't feel empathy? I see you very sad now, tears coming out of your eyes. You're removing your spectacles to wipe out them.
Yeah.
I see a very emotionally mature person, but maybe I am wrong.
No, and it's probably something that I mean, the reason why it came up, and it was a very instinctive response, was that I sometimes feel guilty that I don't mourn him enough. So I can get quite emotional when I talk about him. Mm-hmm. But I don't think about him every day. He had 2 children when he died.
Young children, absolutely.
Young children, I think they were 3 and 5, something like that. And they're older now. They're obviously 5 years older. And I really don't check in with them that much. I mean, I did promise him that I would take care of them. But they're doing really, really well. My sister-in-law, she's awesome. She's got a new friend. They're living together now, and with the same first name as my brother, by the way, which is a bit weird in the beginning. Yeah. So what I'm noticing with myself is that I sometimes feel guilty that I mean, I'm not a person who's very good at actively reaching out people. I mean, I've been moving house 23 times in my life. So, and I think the first 12 years of my life, I moved house almost every year. So for me, friendships, for instance, I have a very, a really weird relationship with friendships because my friends know that I will never be the one taking the initiative.
This is what you do.
I don't do. I don't take initiatives, basically. Right. And I don't care. If I don't see one of my best friends for 6 months, I'm totally fine. And that, in me, triggers this thing. Why is that? Why don't you care about people?
And how is it with your wife and son then? Is there the same pattern or is it different there?
I travel a lot. I have a European job. So September, for just examples, I was traveling almost every week. Sometimes even the whole week, and then just weekends. And I'm torn with guilt, always.
Which is similar with your brother, right?
It's again,
it's all about guilt,
right? So
let me ask some questions. Is your wife complaining about how much you're gone?
Yeah,
she is,
and she's fully supportive, right?
At the same time, again,
at the same time, she's fully supportive, but she also gets frustrated with the fact that I'm away a lot. And actually, I feel guilty about the whole situation. So sometimes I even don't tell her about a trip until I absolutely have to, because I know she's going, you're going away again.
Yeah.
But as soon as I get closer to the moment when I have to go, she's totally fine with it, right? And she realizes it's part of the job. It's just when it's back to back and a lot in a row, I find myself being almost, okay, let's not mention the war. Let's not say anything about this until I absolutely have to, because I know she's going to freak out and, I should pick the right moment when she's in a good mood.
So why do you work so hard and go away so often? Why?
Very obvious, to take care of everything that we have in the family so that we have a good life. And I want to take care of my family. I know that's the value that's driving me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would not do what I do if I didn't like it. I love my job.
Right.
If I see 12 leaders coming out of a session that are energized and psyched and totally changed, and that really...
This makes you more than happy.
I mean, ecstatic is the word. Alive.
Yeah.
It makes me feel alive. So I get a lot of energy from it. And it also takes a toll on my personal life sometimes.
So it's the question, because you were starting this conversation with, am I empathetic enough? Isn't it more about guilt than empathy? Because experience you until now, you cry quite easily. I don't think you are not in touch with your feelings. I have the presumption that
you'll be
you
surprised.
I am.
Yeah.
Oh, correct me then, please.
Well, I can. When it gets to, look, I'm an easy crier. I cry for a commercial, right? So a good commercial, you'll get me to cry. But when it comes to clarifying my emotions and giving them words, that's something that I really struggle with. So that's maybe I'm mixing up empathy with the ability to talk about feelings.
Okay, so let's.
But the guilt definitely is something that I see. You're right. That's a reoccurring thing in everything that I've shared so far.
But you are aware of this feeling of guilt, and you are trying to find your way. So for me, this is not the main topic. I think let's focus on emotions and how you are able to give words to them. Is that you're okay with that we explore this route?
Yeah. Let's see if we can go for the less obvious.
So let's try to explore the question, what is it that you feel things in a way, but you don't have words for them? Is this the good next question? Okay,
that's a good next question.
Do you have an answer for this? What is it that you and words and with feelings, that there's this loose connection between them?
I don't know. There's this... I can, when I have a discussion with my wife, for instance, I can let her do all the work. So when we have a discussion about something, I'm totally fine with, you're right. And then I'll just shut up, and then she'd start talking again. Even though I'm feeling all these things.
You're closing.
I'm just shutting down.
And is this because you are, in a way, overwhelmed with all kinds of mixed feelings? Or what is then happening inside?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I'm finding it hard to give words to it, one. I'm finding it hard to do this in a way where it's not all about me and just, observing the emotions that are happening in the conversation. So, yeah, I block. I don't know.
And is there also this danger of that you are afraid of exploding, or that it's too much, that you think, well, as long as I freeze, nothing can go wrong?
No, I'm not a loud fighter. If that, my wife can. She was brought up in a way where it was totally fine to shout, to be loud, to shout,
to be angry.
I was not brought up in that way. There was no loud fights in my family. Our system was quite organized, and you have to keep it gezellig, as the Dutch would say.
Yeah.
Gezellig, which is untranslatable, I've heard.
Yeah.
So
something with cozy.
Yeah, something with cozy. And so I wasn't brought up in the way that my wife was brought up, that it's totally fine to clash and to shout and to scream. And
so what kind of convictions did your parents give you about emotions in general? Did you give?
In general, I think general conviction is my dad is old generation upbringing from the countryside as well. So a lot of it was, are you crying? There's nothing to cry about. Shut up. You want something to cry about? I'll give you something to cry about.
And then we'll cry.
And then
then shut up again.
Yeah, and then you have to shut up again.
Yeah.
So it was very much about...
Was it harsh?
And
was it harsh in a way?
I think my dad also, which happens, of course, is he tried to be less harsh than his dad was to him.
So now I'm worried about you and your son. Because now I see the generational pattern.
But and actually, I'm way too nice for my son. So I'm actually overcompensating.
Right.
Which often happens, I think.
So crying is childish. If you have something to cry, that's fine, but you should lose a leg or whatever, or nearly be killed, then crying is fine. But crying over spoiled milk or whatever,
that's
don't cry.
Yeah, that was something that would resonate with the way I was brought up.
And how was it with other emotions like anger?
It was all, let's keep it gezellig. Let's
no emotions.
Let's keep it nice. Let's keep it cool.
So, and how did your parents talk about people who showed their emotions, who were very much at ease with
I
sharing them?
I can't remember ever having conversations about that. That wasn't talked about, really. And we didn't have a lot of people around us that I guess were...
And there wasn't talked about a lot of things, I presume, then?
Yeah, and when stuff happened around us, that's none of our business. It's all fine, it's all good. There was no clarification, there was no, the reason why that happened, why uncle, blah, blah, blah. And actually in my whole family, everything with my uncles and aunts, it was all the same culture. So whenever there was a family reunion or anything, nothing really happened.
So could you then say that all emotions felt or shared were a possible disturbancy of this gezellig?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. And I don't think it was an active way of let's not get emotional.
It's just how things were.
It's just how things were. You don't really get emotional around people around you. That's something that you do within the safety of your home. You don't have to. I think it got different when stuff happened to a family. I got older. My aunts got older. They all got children. They all got grandchildren as well. I think with every as soon as people get older in general, there's more room for emotions. My dad, obviously with what happened, is much more in touch with his emotions than he was when he was bringing up me, right? So I think it is changing. It has changed. There's more room now.
But as a younger child, the main message was stay calm, stay gezellig.
Yeah.
And emotions are things that can disturb reality.
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
It's not. Come on, there's no need for this.
No need for this.
No, there's no need for this.
We don't need it.
Yeah, we don't need it.
When we translate this to your current situation, as you are now, with your son and your wife, and the way you do your work, could you then say that at the moment you feel emotions coming up, that this feels a little bit uncomfortable?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't really thought about it.
In general, in
general,
a very broad perspective.
Yeah. If I think back to situations where, there's moments where it's very obvious you can and should have emotions, like crying or emotional stuff. Then I'm totally fine. But other things like anger, frustration, those things, I tend to
feel uncomfortable with.
Yeah, I get uncomfortable. Yeah, I don't want to be that guy.
Who feels?
Who's
having emotions?
Who loses his temper? Right?
And who is that? Now, you say something. Now, this is for me a red flag. I don't want to be that guy. Right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy. So let's pause a little bit here. So who's that guy?
The guy who's not in control of his emotions.
Okay, and how would you describe a guy not being in control of his emotions? What kind of guy is that?
How would you call this guy? Stupid.
Well, that's nice. We have some more even worse.
I know you want worse. I know you want worse ones.
You know where I'm heading at. You know where I'm heading at. Yeah. But remember, you said I don't want to be that guy, right?
I know,
this is for me a very red flag, an interesting flag, and this is where we can learn and be curious.
Yeah.
So he's stupid, right?
He's stupid. He's not in control. Not in control. Yeah, he's out of control. Basically.
Out of control.
Yeah.
And the way you say this is very convincing. This is what you really have as a conviction about life, that if your emotions are too strong, then you are not in control.
Yeah, if the situation is incongruent with the emotions, right? I mean, if I get hit by a car, and I mean,
then it's okay. If you lose a leg, it's okay to be crying.
Actually, I got hit by a car a few weeks ago, and the guy ran over my front wheel bicycle. And I said, "Oh well, it happens. It's okay. I mean, too bad. I mean, I felt an inkling of idiots. What a moron. But I didn't express it at all.
No, right? You didn't want to be stupid.
No, I don't see the use, right? So
you didn't see the use.
Yeah.
Well, this goes back to your youth, I presume. You didn't see the use of an emotion. Yeah. What's the use of crying?
How is it going to benefit the situation?
Nothing. Right? No, you're right. On a rational level, right? Yeah. So now when your wife is having a fight with you or an argument or discussion, whatever. Yeah. So as soon as you start feeling things, it becomes uncomfortable because you, in a way, this makes you think, well, I'm stupid now. And this is what this shouldn't happen. It resembles this deeper conviction, right?
Yeah, I think it's connected, definitely.
So
I never labeled it the way I did now.
No, this is why you're here.
That's why I'm here.
This is why I'm helping out.
That's why you.
So feeling is stupid. You're out of control. This is a very, very severe description of you and how to deal with emotions, and very limiting, of course. So I just repeat. So showing emotions and feeling emotions and then showing them, then you are out of control, and this is stupid, right? On a rational level, this is nonsense.
I just envision us having the fight, and she would actually love for me to lose control,
to fight back,
right?
To show emotions,
because obviously.
Actually, he comes alive.
It actually, it did happen. It happened, of course. I mean, we've been married for a long time.
There must have been moments where even
for me it was too much. And afterwards, absolutely, she said, "Well, at least you showed some emotions in a way that was
because she loves you, including all the emotions that are in you, I presume."
Yeah, she does.
And she does. You confirm this, right? This is solid yes. A solid yes. Yes. So this is what we have found until now. I just repeat what I said before to let it sink in. Showing emotions is a sign of being out of control, and being out of control is a sign of being a stupid guy. Am I right?
Yeah, actually, another word pops into my head when you start repeating it to me. Weakness is also such a... Because I do not consider emotions to be weak.
No, you give leadership trainings.
I mean,
programs.
Come on. I know. You want leaders to show emotions, right? You want to be
so you are helping people to learn things that
I'm unable to do myself. That I think is stupid.
This is a definition of. I think this is a definition of a trainer. This is a definition of a trainer, someone who's learning some things by telling others how it works, and then learning himself along the process.
I constantly struggle with that.
And that's totally fine for me. I think I think it's funny and true, and nothing wrong with that. Okay. As long as you know and be curious in the same time. So I think we've reached a point that I know I have the answer to your first question. Why isn't I'm not showing emotion? Because you don't want to come across as being stupid. And this is on a rational level completely nonsense. This is what you know. It's completely nonsense, but it's not what you feel. It's not what you feel. Am I right?
Yeah, I think actually weak is probably the longer I think about it, it's not stupid. It's actually weak.
Weak. That's even.
I think weak is probably even more powerful because I'm thinking back now to how it was ingrained in me in my childhood. There's nothing to cry about. Don't cry. Stop crying. There's nothing to cry about.
Be strong.
Be strong.
Be strong.
Yeah. If you show emotions, you're weak.
Suppress them.
Yeah.
And a strong guy can suppress them because emotions don't help life.
Yeah, they're not effective.
No, it won't get your leg back or your bike back if you lose it.
No.
So stop crying.
It's no use. Stop it.
So weak is a better word.
Weak, I think, is a
and the opposite would be strong.
Yeah.
So you were trained to be a strong guy.
Yeah.
You're smiling now?
Yeah. It's
why are you smiling?
Well, it's true. Sorry, I had to make the switch. But yeah, you're right. So in order to be a strong guy, you have to be able to control your emotions.
Right.
If you don't control your emotions, you're a weak guy.
Yeah, being out of control. Yeah, weak. So weak is the golden word.
I think
we dig up.
Yeah.
You don't want to come across as a weak guy.
Yeah.
And this is why your wife is having a fight or quarrel or a conversation with you and emotions pop up, you close.
Yeah. And she would consider it actually much stronger if I do show emotions.
Right. This is on a rational level.
Yeah.
Something you knew and you know and you will be knowing for the future. Yeah. But you need this emotional insight that this has something to do with your self-image. Yeah. And only if you are able to let this negative self-image go and not be worrying about how do I come across as weak or strong, as long as you are caring about how you come across, then this won't fade away. But the best thing is just to make jokes about I'm a weak guy, I cry. I don't control my emotions.
And actually, in trainings, I share the story of my brother sometimes, just to show leaders what it does to me when I talk about it, because I almost never can talk about it without at least getting emotional. So I use it as an example. So I'm not afraid.
But to me, I'm sorry, but to me, you came across as very weak. When you cried about your brother.
Yeah.
No, I'm consciously making a joke,
I know,
a rude joke about it, just to rub it in. To rub it in.
Yeah, what's that guy doing?
Yeah, crying. Oh, come on, be strong. It won't get your water back.
You're a trainer. You're supposed to control
He's
stuff.
dead. You won't get him alive by crying.
No.
Yeah, I'm trying to hurt you just by, You know, you trust my intentions, right?
I trust your intentions.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I think we have found the word and we have found the cause for you finding it difficult to show emotions. Yeah. Am I right?
Yeah, I think we have.
You think you have, or did we?
Yeah, I think we have.
We have. It feels like.
And look, this is. I mean, it's all connected for me, right? So the weakness that I associate with showing emotions, which irrationally,
it's bullshit.
It's like bullshit.
It's nonsense. You know this, and you knew. Yeah.
I probably knew it.
Yeah, of course. You give leadership training programs. Hello.
It's not. It's supposed to be.
This is, I think, one of the first things you learn people: be authentic, be original, show your emotions. Yeah. If you're insecure, if you're vulnerable, just let people know, and it will help you, and it makes you more human. And this, right? Am I right?
Yeah, you're all right. You're all right. But in situations where I struggle with it, it's not very effective. I realize now, definitely.
So from now on, you are allowed to show weak behavior. It's not about who you are. Being weak has everything about how you behave, and it's okay to behave weak. Hopefully you are able to get this topic out of the question who you are, because who you are is not a topic at all. You are.
Behavior is not who you are.
And now and then you're weak, now and then you're strong, everything is fine.
Okay.
Amen. This feels solid for you?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Thank you.
With all pleasure. And there's nothing wrong with your feelings. Your whole system is working completely fine, I presume. And as I've experienced you as a warm, funny, gentle, and able to cry very easy, the problem is not the feeling, the problem is the showing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want to flip think your own problem too? In Berthold Gunster's bestseller Flip Thinking, you will learn all about the life-changing art of turning problems into opportunities. Flip Thinking is available in England, Italy, Portugal, South Korea, United States, and soon in 17 other countries too. For info, check out flipthinking.info.